Joining us now, the Clinton supporter, the CNN contributor, James Carville. James, thanks for coming in.
Good to be here.
Here's what the New York Times quoted you Saturday as saying. Mr. Richardson's endorsement came right around the anniversary of the day when Judas sold out for 30 pieces of silver, so I think the timing is appropriate, if ironic. Is that an accurate quote?
Yeah, a fellow by the name of Mr. Healy called me and told me about
it. He's the reporter,
Patrick. The report for the New York Times. And I have to say that he quoted me accurately and in context. It was, yes. So that's exactly what I said. And by the way, I think the quote had the desired intent.
What was that?
That people saw Richardson and saw somebody who was disloyal.
So you're not backing away at all from calling him a Judas?
Well, I mean, it's a seasonal metaphor I was using. But when people see it, it was what I said, and it was quoted accurately, and it had its desired intent.
What were the 30 pieces of silver he got in exchange?
That was a biblical thing. Well, history will see. I'm saying I was using a biblical metaphor, and it had the desired intent. People like calling me left and right and says whenever I see that guy, I can't help but think of that quote. And I'm saying that I thought that I never said a word to Senator Kennedy, a dear friend of mine. I was on this very set with Senator Daschle a few days ago, he and his wife Linda, dear friends of mine. I think the world of him. I'll be so far Senator Obama if he's the party's nominee. Corporal Q-Ball will still own his chevrons and be in General Axelrod's Marine Corps from day one. I thought this was an egregious act, and I thought it deserved.
I mean, he ran against Hillary Clinton for the Democratic nomination. What was so much of a betrayal?
First of all, it's twice served administration, and I felt my own personal view is that this deserved a response, and I'm very satisfied with the response I gave.
But why was it such a betrayal? Because he makes the point, look, I ran against Hillary Clinton.
I have to thank the world of Senator Kennedy. I've never said one thing, or Senator Kerry, or again,
so why is Richardson
Durbin? Because I think that there was, that he served in the cabinet in 2 different positions. I think that he invited President Clinton to come to his Super Bowl party. I think that things, to me, to James Carville. See, I'm not. If there's something that I think is outrageous, I'll comment on. I'm completely for Senator Obama. I completely think the world of his supporters, many of them are dear friends of mine, have been, as far as I'm concerned, will continue to be. Maybe I have a different sort of code than people in Washington. I don't know. Maybe I do. This just seemed to strike me the wrong way, and I was quoted very accurately and very much in context by this fellow, Mr. Patrick Healy.
Here's what Governor Richardson said yesterday. He said, I'm not going to get in the gutter like that. And you know, that's typical of many of the people around Senator Clinton. They think they have a sense of entitlement to the presidency.
I have no idea what he's talking about. And by the way, I never talked to Senator Clinton about this. That her people said, well, we should be talking about health care. So I don't know. I have no idea of what he's talking about. I don't have any sense of entitlement to anything. I never served in the administration. I never lobbied anybody. I never made it. I never did any of that. But again, I gave the quote. I knew what I was doing. I knew what its effect would be when I gave it, and its effect has been predictable.
And so your bottom line is you think that Bill Richardson, having served as Bill Clinton's energy secretary, the UN ambassador,
right.
he owed Bill Clinton.
What he did is certainly could have stayed neutral, in my opinion. And I wanted to use a very strong metaphor to make my point. And I didn't, again, be very many of Senator David Axelrod is a dear friend of mine, and many of these people, and they will be friends of mine, and if he wins the nomination, I'll be 1,000% supportive. I doubt if Governor Richardson and I would be particularly close in the future.
I doubt it too. What you just said here, it's going to be tough to see a reconciliation on that one, although stranger things have happened.
I've had my say.
Judas, his betrayal led to the downfall, obviously, of Jesus. Is Bill Richardson that important?
I don't think, no. I don't think he's that important. It was a metaphor I was using. And you do these things, and people come up and you say you comparing and everything else. I got one in the wheelhouse, and I tagged it.
All right, Hillary Clinton is behind in the pledge delegates, and it doesn't look likely she's going to get ahead of the pledged delegates when all the contests are resolved. She's behind in the popular vote right now. It doesn't look like she's going to be ahead now that Florida and Michigan are no longer apparently in the ball game. Do you see any way right now she can still emerge as the Democrat? Walk me through the process, how she can be the Democratic nominee.
First, let's start, Wolf, because you and I are both sports fans, and we love basketball in this tournament. See, it's somewhere between 8 and 9% of Democrats live in Florida and Michigan. So would you stop a game, a 40-minute game, with 3.5 minutes left to go? Of course you would not. And you saw on this set with Senator Daschle and I, they clearly did everything they could to block these Florida and Michigan Democrats voting. So there's no real authority to claim a popular vote mandate when you still have 36 minutes and 30 seconds left to go that only been played. You've got 3 minutes and 30 seconds left in this contest. I think the party would have been much better, or would be better, if we came and had a party-run primary in these states, allowed these Democrats to vote. Well, again, it's not happening because Senator Obama doesn't want it to happen.
And later tonight, by the way, we're going to